A warm welcome to Joburg Today. I'm Riley Sakwe. With road rage affecting most of us on a daily basis, Dave Johnston gives us defensive driving techniques to avoid trouble on the roads.
Traffic light changed. I'm not accepting that we have right of way. I'm just checking who's coming through and it's clear. The taxis also have vision barriers. You can't see nicely through them. This blue Toyota's changing lanes with no indicators, so I can expect the worst from him as well. Pedestrians as well on the centre island, keeping an eye on them. Red vehicle flying past us up to the red light. And the security vehicle. Taxi now has his reverse lights on, so I'm doing an early lane change while we can. This Bucky, the white Bucky, the security driver, changed lanes. Clearly he didn't see the taxi stopping there or reversing. So I'm going to anticipate he's going to want to cut in front of us again. Intersection clear. There he goes, just as anticipated. The driver of this red car stopped right over the stop lines, arm dangling out the window. Tells me a little bit about his driving, so I'm expecting problems from him. Accelerating on this on-ramp to build speed so I can merge at the same speed as what the traffic is doing, so that I don't upset the traffic flow on the freeway. No one in our blind spot. But I see that there's a vision barrier in front of us. I'm going to accelerate and change lanes again. Speed differentiation is a big problem, especially on freeways. Too fast can be just as dangerous as too slow. Two vehicles traveling at the same speed in the same direction cannot hit each other.
Hey guys, this is Dale from Prime Circle and you're watching Joburg Today.
Join the conversation on our Facebook page, that's joburgtoday.tv. Follow us on Twitter at Joburg Today. And if you're one of those people who are constantly on the move, then pockettv.mobi. That's pocket with an I. Sudden, violent anger provoked in a motorist by the actions of another driver may have far-reaching consequences. Noshina sat down with Stan Bezuidenhout to discuss these far-reaching, irrevocable consequences.
Joining me in studio is Stan Bezuidenhout, the Managing Director of IBF Investigations. Welcome to Joburg Today.
Thank you very much.
We've just watched that incident play out that really reflects on the driving behavior of road users in Johannesburg. What are some of the greatest causes of road rage?
You know, I think one would have to start with a concept or term I've coined, which is passive-aggressive vigilantism. And that is really a situation where people got to the stage where they're so fed up with no one else doing anything about the situation that they are taking the law into their own hands effectively, but they're not doing it actively, they're doing it passively. So you would find people traveling on the road below the speed limit. Someone would come up behind and they would refuse to move. That's their passive-aggressive punishment for that person. Now that elevates. Some people stay passive-aggressive, but they cause frustration in others. Those other people don't remain passive-aggressive and they become aggressive.
Enraged.
But often it's a punishment model. It's still that somebody believes it is their place to punish the other person for something they've done wrong. Whether they are right or wrong is, of course, a separate argument, but somebody might, for instance, say, you are traveling in the fast lane, you're supposed to be in the slow lane. So it'll elevate to the point where they stop next to them and kick off their mirrors or attack them or punch them or shoot them even.
Give us an example of a worst case scenario.
There was an interaction between two people at a crossing. Somebody failed to stop at a stop street. The other guy followed him. They ended up stopping, approaching each other in argument. The guy that didn't stop had gotten out of his vehicle and approached the guy who was now confronting him. That guy had his children in the car with him. He ended up shooting the man in the face. in front of his children. Here we have a case where somebody felt they needed to teach somebody else a lesson. It elevated to the point of armed confrontation. Somebody got shot in front of children. So it's a disastrous event.
How regular are these incidents in Johannesburg in particular?
Much more regular than people realize. Remember, not all road rage spills over into physical action. But if you are a regular commuter in the Johannesburg area, you will see road rage manifest in a variety of ways, all day, every day. And on road rage environments, you must understand that the more wrong the other person, the greater the risk
Nobody
to you.
wins. Nobody wins in a situation like this. I think it also comes
Yes.
down to stress management and anger management.
But
I
we-
think we all get irritated from time to time when driving on the road, but it's when we cross that line, when we decide to take the law into our own hands.
But then we've got to agree that we're becoming more irritated and more aggressive because we know nothing is being done.
Where do we draw the line?
Absolutely. And the question is, how do we address it? This is a complex psychological affair. It's not as simple as who's right and who's wrong. It's more complex because we have to look at the underlying and motivating forces leading us to those levels of aggression.
I'm John Terode, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Helping someone does not always require money. Sometimes the blood that runs through your veins is just as valuable as anything you can give. Since its founding in 2001 by merging several blood centers, the South African National Blood Service is a non-profit organization dedicated to providing human blood for transfusion in South Africa.
Our job is really to recruit people who are willing to donate, who meet the minimum requirements, and obviously educate them around whether they are viable to donate, and they are the ones who actually allow for us to have adequate blood through the year. The minimum requirements to be a blood donor, you have to be between the ages of 16 and 65, weigh a minimum of 50 kilos, and obviously be in good health and live a sexually safe lifestyle. The main uses for blood is that about 27% of what we collect goes to gynecological and complications in women who hemorrhage at childbirth. About 26% goes to terminally ill patients, like those who undergo chemotherapy. They would need transfusions as part of their treatment to help their bodies cope with the chemotherapy. Accident victims are only about 12% of the blood. A unit of blood is generally processed into platelets, plasma and red cells. So in essence, your 1 unit of blood can be donated to 3 patients. So your 30 minutes of donating a unit of blood saves 3 lives.
With the constant ebb and flow of donations centered around the festive season and school holidays, a trend has emerged.
Schools and universities plays a big part in terms of donating blood. So when we go there, they're very willing to come through bunker school lesson and donate blood. But we find that over the holidays, even if we're at a shopping mall, the interest isn't there. And that's the education we need to get in the minds of our donors. At the moment, I'm happy to say that the blood stocks have improved over the last few weeks. We've had a dismal June and the early July where we were in a severe crisis because we weren't able to collect adequate blood. But since the schools have opened, it has helped us a little bit in terms of recovering.
Oftentimes, one is overwhelmed by the urge to lend a hand to their fellow man, and the South African National Blood Service helps you to help others because your blood saves lives. I'm Riley Hlakanipho Sakwe for Joburg Today.
How's it? I'm Alan and you're watching Joburg Today.
And that brings us to the end of today's show, unfortunately. But be sure to check out our playlist to see what's happening in and around your beautiful city. That's it from me, Riley. I leave you with Dave Van Puren, Luna Girl.
My Luna girl, you are the reason I'm alive. You are the sea beneath the sun, my only one. I cannot try to even show you all my love. You're sexy, scrumptious woman, you are the one. My Luna girl, with every breath that I may take, it would just be a big mistake without you. My only wish is that I will spend each day with you, and everything that I go through, you go through too. Cause I got a whole lot of love, whole lot of love to share. But I've been running in circles, feeling that life's been unfair. But hold on, a woman, here I come, yeah. I feel you in the deepest way, darling, yeah. I need you until my dying day, darling. Cause I got a whole lot of love, whole lot of life to share. But I've been running in circles, feeling that life's been unfair. Said I got a whole lot of love, whole lot of life to share. But I've been running in circles, feeling that life's been unfair. But hold on, a woman, here I come.